right, today is Sunday, September 17th, 2023. Kind of a lazy day out here. Yesterday, I spent about 8 hours wet sanding what you see here. Fenders, doors, trunk, and hood. So we're going to continue with the flow coat, like the video you guys just saw a couple days ago. All I did with this was I used some Sunmite 600 grit on a DA. And then I eventually blocked it with some 3M 600 grit wet. And here we are. So you want to take all the shiny away. So everything's dull. And on these areas I kind of went with a gray pad, gray Scotch-Brite. I think it's equivalent to about 1,000 grit. Same with the fenders. They've been sitting out here. Parts have been sitting for 2 weeks, but they've recently just wet sanded yesterday, so I kind of wanted to open up the clear a little bit, let it gas out some more. It's a lot of work, a lot of sanding. So I think what I'm going to do is clean out my little paint room today, wash it out, get ready to be spraying some clear during the week here, and then once that's done, we'll start on the shell. The shell's going to be quite a job. Masking and stuff. These not so much. I mean, I'm going to mask all this, mask all that. There's no need to re-clear this area. There's no need. That'd be a waste of materials. All we're going to do is re-clear the outside. No door jamb. Going to mask all that. I didn't sand that. And we're not going to do underneath and underneath the hood and trunk, just the top sides. So we're going to be saving on materials. We're not going to do the dash. Not going to do the firewall. Only where it's needed. And honestly, it wasn't needed, but just kind of want to do something I hadn't done before. So here we go. Bring you guys back once I get, I think I'm going to do the fenders first. Once I get things set up, bring you guys back. All right. Today is Monday, September 19. Yeah, 19, 17, 16, 17, 18, September 18. And it's about 4 in the afternoon, and I'm going to go ahead and flow coat these fenders. So where we left off, we had the skirts done and we had everything sanded in the 600. So these have been wet sanded 600 grit. Use a 3M on a block and a Sunmite on a DA for some areas. And around the edges, gray Scotch-Brite. The jambs, gray Scotch-Brite. So I just waxed and grease removed these things 2 times using these wipes, the usual. Been about 10 minutes. I got the ACs on. It's 86 degrees in here. Feels pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and get them in 3 coats of Euro, 4 to 1 to 1. Just as before, just as I did the skirts. I do have a tack cloth. I ordered some on Amazon. These run roughly about $1 a piece. Get them on Amazon. Usually get them the next day. Sometimes same day. Sometimes same day. So waiting a few more minutes to get the clear mixed up, then I'm gonna tack them off and get these things coated. So we're using a Iwata 1.4 like we usually do. It's got a reducer in there, about 30 psi. I'll bring you guys back once we get the first coat. All right, here we are, 3 coats later. I didn't really do any recording in between because they probably all look the same on camera. So, same process. We put 3 on when we painted it. We wet sanded 600, and I just put 3 more right now. It took 10 ounces each round, so 30 ounces spent. And actually, I was sputtering down here at the bottom, so it was almost exact. But man, it's really glossy. It's really glossy. I do have some lint up top, but nothing major. Nothing that's some oddball color or anything like that. It's just probably pollen in the air. No runs, so I'm feeling a little more comfortable about this whole flow coat thing. Really, you just really gotta watch what you're doing. So, like I say, on camera and video, it probably looks like you did 2 weeks ago, but there's plenty of material on there to knock it down. And actually, I think I like the Euro mix 4 to 1 to 1.5. Felt like it got a little better spray. But that's a wrap. So what I'm gonna do is come back in tomorrow, Do the doors the same process. And then each piece at a time. That way you could focus on just these pieces right here. When you're trying to spray everything for one person, you got a lot of room for error. So just focusing on piece by piece. But hopefully by within 2 weeks, everything will be done. So you guys back once we get these doors going. All right, we're back. It is Tuesday, September 19. And I just masked up these doors, so we're going to continue with the clear coat process. Same thing as the fenders. Don't laugh at my mask job. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just wanted to mask the jams because I'm not going to put anything on there. I didn't want a lot of dry overspray. So even though it's the jams, we still took care of it all the way around. Like I say, I'm not too worried about the edges and stuff. Some people say, oh, you're gonna have a hard edge or whatever. I'm not worried about that. Nobody's gonna go on your car feeling the door jams to see if you have a tape edge or not. If they do, they're too close to the car. So I just waxed and greased it down twice. Let that sit for about 10 minutes while I mix up the clear. Then go over with a tack rag. I think I'm gonna go ahead and mix up. Yesterday took 30 ounces on the fenders, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and do the same. Probably start with around 25 and see what I got after the first coat. That's how I like to mix. I'll mix more than I need for the first coat, so I'm thinking probably for the first coat we're looking at maybe 6 ounces each, which is 12. I'm gonna go ahead and mix about 20, and then after the first coat, dump it back in the cup, see how many ounces I have left. That lets you know how many ounces one coat lasts. And then on the last coat, I'm gonna mix up an extra ounce or two so you can go on a little bit heavier. I'm gonna reduce it a little bit more this time, 4 to 1 to 1.5. That's what I felt pretty good with yesterday. Pretty straightforward, this shouldn't take long. Bring you guys back once I get the first coat. Alright, so you guys saw me spray the first coat. Since then I've done one more, and pretty much the same exact process. I'm using about 9 ounces per coat. Of course on the second round we do have a little more lint up top from just the environment I'm in. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere in the woods, but as far as laying out, flowing out, it's doing great. 4 to 1 to 1.5 I think is my sweet spot. Slow reducer. That's 30 psi on the 1.4 Iwata, 2.5 turns out on the fluid. And I think I'm doing 75% overlap. I don't know, I never watched myself, but it's looking great. Looking great. No trash on the verticals. So I'm definitely going to be hanging the hood and trunk for sure. Not much trash up top, man. Just a little bit. Not much. Nothing that ain't gonna wet sand out. So Got about 10 more minutes on this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw another coat on it. Bring you guys back once this is done. All right, so we're back. It's 3 coats later. I had exactly 1 ounce of clear left, so getting pretty good at figuring out how much material is needed. It's 84 degrees in here. These ACs really help. So what I do basically, I can't run both ACs and both exhaust fans without tripping breaker. So I cut the ACs off, I turn the exhaust fan, I open up the door, I spray it. Once the fog clears, I turn the fans off, turn the ACs back on, and we've been doing that. And we're able to maintain the 84 degrees, 44% humidity, which is really low. I think got a cold front came through or something. Anyways, so here we are, like I say, mix 4 to 1 to 1.5. So originally I believe I mixed up 16 ounces of clear, 4 ounces of activator, slow, and 6 ounces of slow reducer. And with the 1.4, 30 PSI, I like the way it fits the way I spray. That's the good thing about that Euro, what they advertise. Let's see if this thing's working. What they advertise with the Euro is you can kind of tweak it to how you want. I believe all the way from 4 to 1 to 1 to 4 to 1 to 3. So I like 4 to 1 and 1.5, kind of in the middle of the road. But yeah, so we're playing with fire. We did get a little bug, you know, but he's right on the top, last coat. So he's gonna knock down real easy. But man, it flows out great. And like I said, we're playing with fire because we got a little sag right here. I don't know if you can see it around the keyhole. Just a sag, but I mean, that's good. That means it's about as wet as you can get it without having problems. And this is that right there is why I always emphasize you want to, in your primer stages, in your poly primer stages, and your filler stages, you want to take all these keyholes and all these door lock holes, you know, down to metal in every step up to your sealer point. Okay, because if you don't and you keep building up material, you put your epoxy, your poly, your sealer, 3 coats of base, 3 coats of clear, sand 1 down, 3 more coats of clear. You get so much buildup on that when you go to pop that lock in, it's not going to want to go easy. Could chip the paint. And if you didn't sand that area good and you don't have good adhesion, it's going to chip and it's going to flake. And all that work was for nothing. So you can ask me how I know that, but that's why whenever I'm in my primer stages, I always go around the keyholes, the trim holes, and get them, you know, down to bare metal. And so all you want on there is sealer, base, and clear. That's it. But yeah, doors look great. I love them. And so we're going to continue this process. The hood and trunk are sanded. Hood and trunk are sanded. I just got to go over them again with the gray Scotch-Brite and some scuffing paste because it's been a few days. Open them up again, and I'll probably be spraying those on Saturday morning. I'm gonna try and do those both at the same time and get it knocked out. And all that's left is the shell. So bring you guys back once we do that. All right, we're back. It is Friday, September 22nd, 2023. It's about noon. 90 degrees in here. It's a little warmer than usual, warmer than it has been. I got the ACs going. Today I'm gonna re-clear the hood and trunk. So I got them hung up. I got the mast on the back side. Don't laugh at the mast job. I kind of just used leftover paper and stuff that was almost all gone. Use it up. We used the cup method like we did whenever we sprayed the car, whenever we painted the car, to help it from swaying in and out. Got the trunk, same way. No cup on this, but we do have a wire running across from the back to keep it from swaying. So this is these are some really big panels here. That's got to be at least 5 by 5. It's 25 square feet. This one's more like 5x4, which is 20 square feet. So 20 and 25 is 45 square feet of clearing vertical panels. So you guys watched the video on Sunday where I said I used to struggle with this, so this is really going to test my skill set. But I'm ready for it. We'll see what happens. The good thing is it's a little warmer than usual, so it's going to help with any sags or runs. What I plan to do is I'm gonna give the top sides 3 coats, and then on the last round is when I'm gonna hit the sides one coat. There's no need to pile on 3 coats right here. All we did with that was gray Scotch-Brite. So that's gonna get 1 pass. The top is gonna get 1 pass at the end down the side. Really my only area of concern is down low here, because right now that's down low, but when it's on the car, that's front and center. So just gotta make sure to get down low and spray it. Same thing with back here. I mean, it's not too bad, but really the area of concern is down low. This is gonna be straight up spraying, you know, vertical. I'm not too worried about any, well, I don't wanna jinx myself, but I'm not too worried about any hair or sweat, which is good, which is why I'm spraying these things vertical. If I were to spray these things flat, they would have a lot of dust nibs, maybe a sweat drop, maybe a bug, who knows. Spraying them vertical is pretty much the only way I can get away with not having major issues like that. So I'm gonna wet the floor down. I already wet the outside floor. I'm gonna move these to the side. I'm gonna wet the floor down, move them back. I'm gonna have the back sides towards the intake, front sides towards the exhaust. So I'm gonna mix up, I'm thinking about 10 ounces each, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix up about 30 ounces, pour it back in when we're done and see how much it actually took. But if I had to guess, I would guess we're looking probably at about 22 ounces for 1 coat. So we'll see. Bring you guys back once I get that first round. All right, this is 10 minutes after the second coat. It's getting there, it's getting there. It's a lot of material, it's about 18 ounces per coat. So far, no major issues, no bugs. It's good. I've been wetting the floor down in between coats, just trying my best to work with what I got. Mixed up 20 ounces, 22 ounces for the last round, just to go ahead and get the sides and the tops, edges, back side here. It's moving right along, so I'm gonna give it one more. Give it one more. It's a little dry in this corner right here versus this corner. Last coat, I'm gonna go a little bit heavier. I'm gonna push the limits. Bring you guys back once it's done. All right, here we are 3 coats later. It's now 93, and here it was 95 when I turned the fans on. So it's good that it's warming up. It's gonna help it cure. It pretty much looks like the second coat. I went a little bit heavier, and I end up having 2 ounces of clear left. And I had to, when I finished clearing the hood, I dumped it out, and I had 8 ounces in the cup. And I said, man, that's testing the limits on the trunk. So I went ahead and mixed up like 6 more, and that's 14, and then I was left with 2, so it took 12. So it's better to have a couple ounces, or 1 or 2 ounces that go in the trash versus running out when you're almost done, you know. And then by the time you mix some up, you can't really carry the wet edge down, you know, and then you end up 1 more whole coat, you know, if you really want to keep it wet. So there is a little bit of lint, but nothing major, man. Nothing major, nothing funny. No bugs, no mosquitoes. More importantly, no runs, which is great. Plenty of clear on here. That last coat I really slammed it on. I waited 30 minutes between 1 and 2. I waited 15 between 1 and 2, and then a 30 between 2 and 3, and so that way I could slam it on, and that's exactly what I did. And we didn't get no runs. It's good. It's good. There's plenty of material in there to start with 1,000 grit, which is what I plan to do on the hood and trunk. 1,000 grit, and then work your way up, because I want these things flat. So that being said, this concludes today's spraying episode. Next up this weekend, I'm gonna wet sand the shell tomorrow, and hopefully get that done on Sunday morning. I had to order another gallon. I have not that much left. Not that much left. Hardly no reducer. I use a reducer to clean the gun as well. So, anyways, I'll bring you guys back tomorrow morning when I start wet sanding the shell. All right. Here we are, 4 hours later, almost exactly 4 hours. Got everything sanded. Did it all by hand, no DA. By hand with a block. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside jam here. Then we're gonna run the tape line under the door sill, and it's gonna have a little hard edge right there. Versus trying to mask that, it only took not even 5 minutes to sand it, so it could go a little bit more. So what I did was I sanded it with 600 wet, and then I went over the whole thing with the gray Scotch-Brite wet, and then I washed it. I washed it with the gray Scotch-Brite, and then I washed it with a regular old rag, clean rag, new rag. And had to take some extra care on the two-tone, because the two-tone only had 2 coats of clear, and we're sanding 600, so we don't want to burn through. But we didn't, and we kind of leveled out the tape edge, so it's not as prominent. So I'm gonna let this thing sit out here for a few hours, let it gas out some more, and then dry, put it in and start masking. I didn't do anything on the tail panel. I did do the trunk gutter. So bring you guys back once we get it moved in and start masking. All right, I got it all masked and cleaned up. So I ordered this blue painter's tape off of Amazon, pretty cheap, man. Like 6 rolls for like $10. With next day early AM delivered. So I used about 1.5 rolls to mask the entire dash. I mean, it's okay. You can see the paint, the tape is lifting, but for what I'm trying to do, it's going to serve its purpose just fine. So I masked the whole dash and the whole firewall. And trunk gutter, trunk hinges, and then, you know, of course, for the areas that count, we use the 3M stuff, or Scotch-Brite, Scotch 3M. So basically, it's all wiped down. Kind of mask the jams a little bit, not too much. As you can see, I'm not too concerned with overspray landing on the Raptor. It's already green. So went over it with the gray pad dry, and then wax and grease removed it, solvent based, twice. Use gloves, use my wipes, my professional grade wipes that I always show. Got these on Amazon as well. It's 75 of them for $14, and they're pretty good. I like to keep them, clean the gun with them afterwards, so kind of dual purpose. Got my clear set up. I got about half a gallon there and a full gallon there, which I'm thinking it's going to be about 30 ounces per coat or so, something like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave these air conditions on overnight. Hopefully I come in the morning and be in the 70s, and tack it off, get straight to spraying. No need to wipe it down, no need to wax and grease. It's gonna sit here. We just vacuumed up the room, I rinsed it out and then we vacuumed it to try and get all the dog hair and stuff out of here. So I'm gonna give it the best I got. Tomorrow morning I'll bring you guys back once I come out here in the morning. Right, we're back. Sunday morning. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I want to come in here and get this over with. It's the last session of clear on the last part, which is the biggest. So it's about 70 degrees in here. I left the ACs on overnight. Everything's been wiped down. Just need to tack it off, mix up some clear, and we're ready to go. It should be pretty straightforward. My only area of concern is going to be this concave area, but just like any other piece, just got to watch what you're doing. So when we get to mixing, bring you guys back after the first coat. All right. It's 8 o'clock. I got 3 coats of clear on this thing. And man, this was stressful. This was stressful, but I got it done. If you guys remember, when we actually painted the car, I didn't paint the shell. I didn't clear the shell. My buddy did. And there's some lint up top. It's not the end of the world. But my main area, like I said previously, was going to be these concave areas to slick them out to where you don't really need to do a whole lot of buffing in there, because that's a really awkward area to buff. But I think I did okay. Did get a bug right here, unfortunately. Outside of that, there's no big issues. I mean, we'll see how that sands out. Might just have to live with it. I don't know. But overall, I mean, if that's as bad as it gets, then I could probably live with that. And we did get a bug on the last coat. Last coat, actually after I cleared, after the last coat, right there. So he's gonna knock down real easy, really. I'll probably pick him out right now. But I'm gonna let this thing gas out till about lunchtime, then push it outside and see what we got. So I think this is gonna cut it off for the flow coating videos. Really, there's nothing else left to clear. I did have enough clear. I didn't have to open the new gallon, but I did have to open the hardener. Ran out of hardener, which I probably could have went without, but I didn't want to run out of clear, you know what I mean, and not be able to get 3 full coats. This is how much I had left. About an ounce. So pretty good. It took 16 on the first round and 20 on each round after. Went a little bit heavier, actually probably about 22 on the last one. I tried to really slam it on, try to get that bug out of there. We'll see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little session here. Next up for the car is basically going to let it bake in the sun along with the rest of the parts. Probably going to go ahead and sand this thing with 1200 and go from there. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe 1000. We'll see. But I'm just glad that this painting session is over. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more work. Thanks for watching.